All right, well, Delhi's air quality has taken a sharp hit with majority of monitoring stations entering the red zone. Although the Supreme Court had permitted the use of green firecrackers between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., celebrations continued well beyond the allotted hours. And according to data, the average air quality index stood at 451 early this morning, 1.8 times above the national average as pollution levels worsened. Later in the day, Delhi's AQI improved to very poor with the reading of 352 at 9 a.m. as per data released by the Central Pollution Control Bureau. Several monitoring stations fell into the red zone, with areas like Dwarka recording an AQI of 422, Ashok Vihar at 445, Anand Vihar at 440, indicating severe air quality levels. Meanwhile, Delhi Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa has accused the Aam Aadmi Party government of Punjab for forcing farmers to burn crop residue to send pollution levels up in the national capital. He argued that the air quality index in Delhi was 341 before Diwali and it rose to 356 afterwards, up by just 11 points, thus indicating that a large factor for Delhi's poor air quality is the surge in the Parali burning cases, which has reportedly crossed the 300 mark. The big question remains, what can we do to tackle this menace that's impacting your health as well as mine? Let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the program is Advocate Gurmukh Singh Arora, Supreme Court lawyer. Kavita Ashok, environmentalist, also joins us on the show. Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, also with us on the program. Professor Nalapat, I'll begin with you, sir. I hope you can hear me. Professor Nalapat?
I can hear you quite well. Thank you.
Right. So, well, it's deja vu again. You know, there's nothing different about, winters in Delhi this time around as well. The Parali continues. The pollution curves, the GRAP 1, GRAP 2 have been kicked in. GRAP 3, GRAP 4 will also eventually, the buttons will be pushed on that. There doesn't seem to be a permanent solution to pollution coming through. And it's almost palpable, this feeling that the apathy towards the citizen and the health of the citizen is somehow okay by the administration.
Well, I can't disagree with any of your comments. The fact of the matter is that parts of Delhi, living in parts of Delhi are like living in a gas chamber. It's and but the only point is, now we've identified stubble burning, for example, almost entirely from the Punjab. Now the fact is that millions of farmers in the Punjab have relatives in Delhi, and these relatives are going to be paying the price of their stubble burning. So I think they should understand that and be a little more, be a little more tough where stubble burning is concerned and not do it. Now I would like to say that there have been many ways in which you can avoid it. For one thing, for example, traditionally, for quite in many locations, stubble has been used as mulch, been used as fertilizer, and to fertilize the soil, placed under soil where it disintegrates and becomes fertilizer. Unfortunately, our farmers have gotten used to chemical fertilizers, and these chemical fertilizers, frankly, that there must be all kinds of side effects which we don't know very much about in these chemical fertilizers, whereas natural fertilizers, we don't have that. So the point is very simple. There are ways of ensuring that stubble burning stops. There are ways of ensuring that the farmer, for example, I would say there are so many ways in which the administration in the Punjab could ensure the stubble burning stops. And one of them would be to take the stubble and later on in some facility turn it into mulch, which makes and then make it into fertilizer, and that would be wouldn't be very high cost. The fertilizer would be very good, and that's the first point. Second point is the civic consciousness of citizen, and whether it's a question of Punjab or anywhere else. The problem is civic consciousness is very low. Now you have cities in India. I'm thinking of, for example, Sultan Bathery in Kozhikode district in Kerala, exceptionally clean. Why? but there's a civic campaign for cleanliness. And I think these civic campaigns are very important, including in the national capital of Delhi. After all, Delhi is supposed to be the showcase of the country, a showcase of a country that's expanding very rapidly, is now becoming PPT terms the third largest economy in the world. And when people land in Delhi, before they land, they pass through that haze, and it's not fog, it's not winter fog, it's pollution haze, and that makes the winter fog even worse, frankly. So I'd like to say there are solutions available, and I think it's important for all concerned to ensure that the citizens are basically, made to understand that their neighbors, living in other areas, will be very happy if they behave in a responsible manner and show some civic sense. I've seen multiple cases, frankly, as you travel along the roads, of suddenly a lot of rubbish coming over a wall and getting dumped on the other side. The fact is, pests can breed there, and those pests can easily fly into the same compound from where the rubbish came from. So, very frankly, it's good for all of us if every one of us is civically conscious, and it's very, very good indeed. For example, if farmers in the Punjab are shown the different ways in which they can prevent burning of stubble and they can use their stubble, and if they don't want to use their stubble, and have a system of collecting that stubble and turning it into mulch at a facility so that can become perfectly good natural fertilizer later on. There are innovative solutions. They've been around for decades. The problem is applying them. And I don't know why, but for decades these have not been applied. And frankly, if you ask me the reason why, I can't explain it in rational terms. It's irrational to have this kind of an attitude. Especially in a democracy, which depends on the vote to come to power. A political party depends on the vote to come to power. A political party cannot be apathetic to a situation facing the citizens. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party, whether it's in Punjab or in Delhi or in other parts of the country, well, the reality is it will be significant if the party in Punjab can demonstrate its civic consciousness. The party in power in Delhi can demonstrate its civic consciousness, and a competition in civic consciousness takes place. So the party which has the maximum results in civic consciousness and of course in overall development will get the vote and therefore come to power. I think it's very important to ensure that. So first, in ensuring that we try and get rid of the stubble, and by innovative ways that have been around. I call them innovative here, but they've been around for decades. And secondly, and instilling better civic consciousness among the citizens so that they understand that one man's lack of civic consciousness affects hundreds of people possibly. Thank you.
You're absolutely right, sir. And Kavita ji, the window to burst crackers in Delhi NCR was between 8 to 10. The bursting of crackers started much before that, and it went across midnight hours as well, and there was nothing that you could do. Obviously, the civic ignorance is also a part of this pollution. If people knew that PM 2.5 and PM 10, they cause cancer, and if there was somebody they knew who was suffering from cancer, which could be exacerbated as a result of these firecrackers, they would not do it. So obviously there is a huge distance between the lip and the cup. The government needs to do more in bringing about awareness to the citizens as well on what they can do to reduce this menace.
Absolutely right. I feel that yes, we do lack civic. Look at my throat because yesterday, because of the crackers. I think we do lack civic consciousness, and of course we need more awareness programs. Individuals, like us, have been doing some air pollution awareness programs, no crackers and no garbage burning. But it's like a drop in the ocean. It'll take a lot of time to make it a mass movement. So I think you rightly said that we need more emphasis from the government to run such campaigns, and maybe also some kind of a support or encouragement for even individual people or NGOs who want to work. So I think they can be collaboration. Even media can pitch in. We can have massive campaigns, but it's only going to work out if people from within realize that the air I breathe is the air you breathe. And our kids, our grandparents, our parents are breathing this air and getting sick, rushing to OPDs in the night. What kind of a modern setup we are living in? Where what is the infrastructure? Why do we do not abide with the rules? Is the Supreme Court, whatever the Supreme Court says, is it so light that the citizens are unable to understand it or follow it up? I think last night was a very shameful act, because I was also on someone's terrace for Diwali party, and till 12 o'clock, 12:30, there was so much crackers in South Delhi that one could not breathe. So I was just standing there and thinking, what of all the work that we do throughout the year, and what is it that we are lacking, that people are, it's not being conveyed to the people. So I think what you said is that we need more thrust in this, we need more campaigns, and I think we need, from not only during the Diwali month, throughout the year, we need to tell people that this, firstly, there are going to be more awareness programs. Secondly, we need citizen involvement, whether it is at RWA level or schools, communities, college. We need to bring in the youth also, I think, children in this. And thirdly, I think that we need stricter rules. How do we bring it to the ground level, that green pataka or non-green patakas, who's going to monitor it? It is actually an impossible task. Delhi NCR is very big. How do you monitor whether I am bursting a normal pataka or a green pataka? It's very difficult to distinguish. So I think we need a very clear line. No pataka means no pataka. No cracker means no crackers, I think. Yeah, we can't have a loophole saying, okay, you can burst till 10 o'clock, or okay, if you have a green. So there is a lot of lacks there. Who's going to differentiate? I think from production of green crackers to procurement to distribution, and how it is reaching people's hands. So that is another. So it's a very difficult thing to track. I don't think it's humanly possible to go into each one's house and see what you're doing. So we need a broad line, and we need a very clear-cut frame for this. So I appeal to the people of Delhi NCR that please pitch in, please stand up with your government and support whatever campaigns they're doing, whatever rules there are, abide by the rules, be supportive. Do not try to, defy whatever's going on. It's for our own benefit. It's for my benefit, your benefit. Your families, your children are rushing to the hospitals. I don't think anybody's happy about the health scenario here, what it happens during air pollution months. So we have cancers, we have asthma patients. If we check hospital records, you will understand that every house someone is falling sick, like a throat infection is the minimal thing that one can have after this air pollution bout. Throat infections and cancers, so many kind of other diseases. Even let me mention also women who are pregnant are also facing a lot of issues because of air pollution. So this thing is even going to the next generation. It's not only staying with us. I guess it's high time we need to collaborate. I think citizens need to collaborate. Government needs to collaborate with citizens. An interstate rivalry, or we have to sit down and clear this up for once and for good.
Let me rope in Dr. Narendra Saini, former Secretary General of the Indian Medical Association, who is also joining us. Dr. Saini, we have talked about health implications of this pollution, but let's talk about the health costs that the state, the country and the people of Delhi NCR will actually have to met out to tackle this pollution. I guess that is a conversation that will always be slipped under the carpet.
I absolutely agree with you. The cost, I think nobody has calculated the cost, because in a government setups, the cost becomes free because everybody goes in free, and it goes from the budget of the government. In a private sector, people realize when they go to a private nursing home or to a clinical doctor, then they realize what is the cost. So if you see, I can hear all the panelists who are there, two panelists who are there, they all have to go to a doctor yesterday because of the pollution. So you can just think of, if out of 3, 2 have gone to, I being a doctor, so I have taken medicine myself, but the 2 people have to go. So you can think of, it means 80% people will be going to a doctor just because of this pollution only. So you can just think the cost of this, whether it is going out of the pocket or it is from the government. But people are going to a doctor. So there has to be a realization. First, I feel everybody has talked about that there is a health problems and all those things. Who implement the law? There is a problem of implementation. One is creating awareness. That sincerity is required in creating awareness also. And sincerity is required in implementation of what the government has created. I feel there should be a survey of the politicians, all the politicians of Delhi, irrespective of the party. Have not burst their character? Can they swear by heart that when they said that there is no cracker should be there, have they implemented themselves or not? Were they convinced or not? I give you one example. If you need to implement a law, there are ways and the government can do it. Like a PCPNDT Act. PCPNDT Act was that no doctor or nobody should do ultrasound for knowing the sex of a child. You know, now it is almost very, very difficult. Very few may be doing it, but they are being caught. They are being held. So nobody is trying to do it. And even now, the people have also realized that they have not to get the sex determination done because there is a will of the government to implement a law. Somehow, I think that kind of awareness first is required among the politicians. They should feel that they are getting themselves a problem. The health of the nation is in problem. Only when they realize this, I do not think there will be a problem in implementation of this problem. And we have to create awareness. Unless and until we all create awareness, even I will request the media houses, not only when we see that this table has start burning or we see AQI has risen to 400 or 450, then we woke up. But it should be throughout a campaign. I think even one media house take up this campaign sincerely, we will realize, after all, it is for the benefit of a common man only. They are going to benefit. They are going to have their health issues taken up. And why they are spending money when they feel that they are bursting cracker, they are spending money there also. And after bursting the cracker, they are themselves being caught in their health problem, and there also they are spending money. If they realize this, if there is a kind of awareness for these people, I think this will go away. And every year we hear about stubble burning. They should not do it, but we have to provide an alternative. Very well pointed out by one of my previous speaker, that panelist, that the government should come out with some kind of they should take up this table and give some fertilizer, make fertilizer and give to the farmers. If this kind of facility is there, after all, what poor farmer will do? It has to go somewhere, that waste. Somebody has to take up that waste. The only way for him and only way he knows is to burn it. So that kind of awareness, somewhere that kind of sincerity I feel is lacking. Just on every year we start saying, every government wakes up, media wakes up, that we have to do something because media does. I think that is the role of the media to highlight the problem. But at least that sincere effort should go from the media, also provoking the government to do something on that. When they say that we will make these use as a fertilizer, they should create that kind of awareness and all those things.
You're right about that, sir. And but Gurmukh, what should be the legal consequences be? China has been able to curb this. But of course you cannot compare India and China. It's an authoritarian regime. They can do whatever they want. They can, they can use the carrot and the stick concept. In India, what can, law do to make sure that people don't suffer from this menace year in and year on? And of course, the Supreme Court and from time to time, they have come in and said that, look, these are the rules that you have to follow, but there's nobody to enforce it.
See, Vineet, we have to first see what was the initial order. the order was an interim order. And one thing which I would admit is that the order was silent on the repercussions on the individuals who will be caught doing the things which are not legal and per se which are not permitted by the Supreme Court order. Now, we as an individuals should see what was the intent of the Supreme Court behind this order. The intent of the Supreme Court behind this order of allowing the crackers was to strike a balance between livelihood and the culture. But now how individuals have been, accusing the Supreme Court or the government is something which has to be seen on its own perspective. Whether this event was positive or negative only depends how we as individuals perceive it. Now look at a hypothetical situation, and from a standpoint of an individual who was not having a job, who was working in a crackers factory, to him this event was a bliss. And also for a person whose family was dependent on this business, to him also this event was a bliss. But on the other standpoint, if we see from the intent or the eyes from a old age individuals whose lungs are very fragile, this event was a disaster for him and for the workmen. Tomorrow we all know that the government will stop the construction sites, and the daily wage workers whose whole family are dependent they will lose their earnings. So today, after this event, we all individuals have to realize that one thing, that nature will not bend to our convenience, and this has been a very big example to the government also. Before this order, the government was saying that they have all the plans to, if the AQI reaches above the height, and they will take measures of cloud seeding and artificial rain. But today, the nature has shown to us that it will not bend to our convenience. There are no clouds. And if there are no clouds, how will the government act? And government today has to see what other alternatives do they have for the individuals of our society. And it is not only the government, but we as an individuals. Today, we are blaming the farmers for the burnings. The farmers are blaming the factory owners, and this loop is a never-ending loop. We will not reach to a conclusion unless we admit that it is not the fault of other individual, but it is our own fault. What have we done to make sure that we are spreading awareness? See, charity always begins at home. What have we done? See, if can anyone today who's looking at this debate, can anyone swear on their heart that they have told anyone in their own home that please don't burst crackers? See, every individual has old age citizens, every individual has newborn children, and today it's not that only today they will suffer, even the coming generations will suffer. We are today accusing the government that they were not able to do anything. They are today also we are accusing that they are not even able to control the pollution. But if we see, but what individuals have done, we all were burning crackers, we were seeing our neighbors burning crackers. We are today accusing the police officials and the other individuals who were having the duty to check that they have not checked. See how one will check whether an individual is burning a green cracker or a normal cracker. It is next to impossible task, but something which would have controlled this would have been our own consciousness. We as an individuals have failed to this.
Okay, all right, Gurmukh, we've run out of time, but appreciate everybody who joined in.